Here in reverence now we gather, for the blessings we have known, with a pledge to one another, that we journey not alone. Joy and sorrow make us one, kin to all that lives and dies. Love calls us on. Love calls us on. Words and deeds of those before us, waken here to keep us strong. Lend our voices in the chorus of creation's living song. Courage as us lift our eyes upward to the shining skies. Hope calls us on. Hope calls us on. Hope calls us on. Loyal guide to love and duty. Loyal guide with the trust to lead us. Blessed are they whose inward beauty, blessed are they who take path of truth and trust. The latter is their earthly honor, is their work to realize. Faith calls us on. Faith calls us on. Faith calls us on. Faith calls us on. We have shared the radiant hour. We have shared truth that made us freedom and truth and the Spirit's gracious power. Spirit of grace that yet shall be with us, for the bright road path before us, ever bright is the path. Joyful pilgrims now we rise, life calls us on, life calls us on, life calls us on. Life calls us on. Life calls us, yes. Life calls us on. Life calls us, yes. Life calls us on. Life calls us, yes. Life calls us on. Life calls us on.
One, two, three, four.
There's no way to tell from here what only time makes clear. Elements far and near in play, opening up the wounds so deep. Happy New Year. Good morning. Is everybody recovered from staying up too late? Or are we getting to that point that we go, I'll see the new year in the morning? I think we're probably somewhat divided over that. Anyway, I'm really glad that you're here. There's stuff in the foyer for after the service, some collard greens and some black-eyed peas. I have vegan black-eyed peas and non-vegan black-eyed peas, but the collard greens, I think, are not vegan. Anyway, and Miss Susan made cornbread, so I hope that you'll have just a taste of good luck and good fortune with us before you leave after the service. This is a church built on covenant and not creed, so we're here together on how we want to be with each other and in the world rather than what we believe about things that happen after this. We think how we live this life has a great deal of importance. And so we try to encourage each other in that, no matter how different our paths and opinions. This is not an easy thing to do, but it is our covenant and it is our challenge. I think you're getting lots of emails, is that it, or messages? Miss Susan is ever popular. We still, after all these years, have our technological challenges and are on the learning curve every single day. I don't think that's a bad way to be. And just like the hiccups in our first audio thing in the prelude that weren't there yesterday, the hiccups are things that we have to adapt to as we go along, and that's part of peace, isn't it? So, whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity, if you want to be with us here, you are welcome. And I have, our treasurer has some announcements this morning. This is Rebecca Tuggle.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Happy New Year again. Our volunteer of the month for the month of January is our own Ash McLean, who I do not see here today, but a round of applause for Ash. Because those of us who know Ash see him a lot of times helping out with Youth RE, especially with Kevin, usually Kevin's sidekick for Youth RE, but also out in the community say that one more time.
Oh, I was going to say, I think Kevin is actually Ash's side.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, we want to do that. Okay. There you go. But Ash does a lot as a member of LTA and, of course, with our congregation as well. So give it up for Ash for January, Volunteer of the Month. Our giveaway the plate recipient for January is going to be Volunteers for Youth Justice. They do a competition known as Gumbo Gladiators. We usually try to at least support them by sponsorship. And so all money collected this month that is not going towards pledge will go to the Gumbo Gladiators that are Volunteers for Youth Justice, and they do a remarkable amount in the community here. So we would really appreciate any gift that you can give for them, as well as for us. As you know, we are in pledge season. I am happy to report that we do have a total of 13 pledges at this point. We have pledges for a little over $60,000. We need about $150,000 to run the church. So please, if you can, give. If you cannot make a pledge, you can always make a one-time contribution. That's just fine. But anything that you would like to donate, there are pledge forms out in the foyer, but we also have the baskets stationed at the front of the sanctuary. We no longer pass them around, so anything that you would like to contribute, please drop it in those baskets as you leave. Again, Happy New Year. I hope it's a peaceful and wonderful one for us all. Thank you very much.
just want to do splitting hairs here. To me, that's the back of the sanctuary. It's the front of the church. Front of the church, back of the sanctuary, the baskets are there, okay? All right.
Okay, if I don't cough, I just started coughing for no apparent, I promise it's not COVID. I wanted to say Louisiana Trans Advocates will not meet today. They usually meet on the first Sunday at 1:30. They have bumped their meeting to next week, January 8th. So just wanted to make that announcement. And also, children and youth art, religious education. I'm so sorry. We'll start back next week also on January 8th, and we'll be doing world religions. So thanks. That's all from me.
I didn't do this before. So what we're going to do is, well, I don't want us to do 2 songs in a row. So remain seated. We'll do Come, Come. Then we'll stand and do our unison affirmation and sing Spirit of Life, okay? Okay. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. One more time. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come. Would you rise in body or spirit? And say with me, please, the unison affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in freedom, to serve in freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. So I guess we're getting to laugh at all kinds of things this year, if this is foreboding. Let's see. Spirit of life. Please be seated. Come. Come, whoever you are. Do you hear that voice calling you? Calling us? that voice which calls us together here today in this room made holy by our presence and by the sacred breath we share in our singing and speaking and silence. Come into this place of memory and let its history warm your soul. Come into this place of prophecy and power and let its vision change your heart. Come into this place of peace and let its silence heal your spirit. Let there be joy in our coming together this morning. Let there be truth heard in the words we speak and songs we sing. And let there be help and healing. Amid the noise of our lives, let us open ourselves here and now to the process of becoming more whole, of living more fully, of giving and forgiving more freely, of understanding more completely the meaning of our lives here on this earth. Could I have help with the first part of our chalice lighting, please?
This chalice to celebrate Unitarian and Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other.
Thank you so much. For the new year, beginning today and always beginning, we light our chalice, symbol of faith, perseverance, and hope, in astonishing thanksgiving for beginnings that emerge out of endings, appear amid continuity, become visible in hindsight. We light our chalice for all the times and all the ways we have begun anew together. We light our chalice, symbol of our faith, perseverance, and hope, in astonished thanksgiving. He enters the classroom, sits down, doesn't say anything. He looks at us, we look at him. At first there are a few giggles, but Maury only shrugs, and eventually a deep silence falls, and we begin to notice the smallest sounds. The radiator humming in the corner of the room, the nasal breathing of one of the heavier students. Some of us are agitated. When is he going to say something? We squirm, check our watches. A few students look out the window trying to be above it all. This goes on a good 15 minutes before Maury finally breaks in with a whisper. What's happening here? He asks. And slowly, a discussion begins, as Maury has wanted all along, about the effect of silence on human relations. Why are we embarrassed by silence? What comfort do we find in all the noise? If I had sat here for 15 minutes without saying anything, how many of you could have just sat? You know, I think in part we've been programmed to not be okay with silence. I think about the song Shout by Tears for Fears. I don't know if any of you remember that, or older than that, Make Your Own Kind of Music from Mama Cass. And then all the quotes from Dr. King about, you know, the lives begin to end the moment we become silent about things that matter. And in the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the appalling silence of our friends. And it may well be that we will have to repent in this generation, not merely for the vitriolic words or the violent actions of the bad people, but the appalling silence and indifference of the good people who sit around and say, wait on time. We also have that Protestant work ethic thing about idle hands are the devil's workshop, and that if you're sitting around, you're wasting time, and you need to be productive, and you need to be accomplishing something. And all of the posters from the initial horrible sweep of AIDS, when ACT UP had silence equals death. I mean, all of these messages were telling us it's bad to be quiet. And then there's all the media and all of the electronic devices that demand that our attention stay right there. And when we got to a point where we were able to start turning off the messages, they sped up how quickly they changed so that they would keep our attention. And now they have trained our attention span to be about this long. It's absolutely being taught to our younger people that way every single day, whether it's in the games they play, whether it's in the way that education is done now, the programming on television and cell phones and everything else. So we have all of these things telling us that silence is bad, but we are now in this church year's pillar or study season of world religions. And if we look at the religions of the world, all of them tell us that silence is the ground from which everything worthwhile, in our spiritual development at least, is sprung. In Buddhism, the Vipassana meditation is called the noble silence. The noble silence covers a period of 9 or 10 days, and includes the so-called silence of deed, which means that you don't gesture and you don't use communication tools such as mobile phones or computers or internet, and I'm not sure that you can even write notes. In Hinduism, the mauna, or silence, has a voice of its own. It refers to peace of mind and inner quietude, the samadhi and absolute reality. The Hindu text insists upon proper understanding of silence by experiencing it through control of speech and practice. Silence leads to peace, and God is the embodiment of peace. This is from the Hindu tradition. To reach the one who spells peace, we must observe silence. How many of us have time for that, or allot time for that in our lives? Is it easy? In Taoism, the early philosophical Taoism, silence nicely represents the ineffable nature of and spontaneous status of the Tao. There was a reading maybe 2 years ago in some of the meditations I do in the morning that talked about let me think if I can get to it. I don't think I can reach it right now. I'll have to come back to it after a while, I think. So in Islam, silence is considered to be one of the first stages of worship. So if we are here together, elevating and contemplating matters of worth, it's good for there to be silence, spaces between the busyness. Room for the noise to settle. Silence is not just an absence, but a primal presence. Silence surrounds every I know with a humble and patient I don't know. Silence is not the absence of being, it is a kind of being itself. It is not something distant, obtuse, or obscure, of which only ascetics and hermits are capable. Most likely, we have already experienced deep silence, and now we must feed and free it and allow it to become light within us. We do not hear silence, rather, it is by which we hear. We cannot capture silence. It must enthrall us. Silence undergirds our very being as ceaseless primary prayer.
darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light. Split the night and touch the sounds of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more, people talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never shared. No one dared disturb the sounds of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops, fell, echoed in the well of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. And the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was for me. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls, tenement halls, whispered in the sound of silence. I'm really curious about that juxtaposition for you. All things in balance, right? Truth, in my estimation, is more often paradox than one thing or another. Trying to find and maintain a deep peace and silence amid the noise, I think, is a noble pursuit. We have a responsive reading. I hope you'll share your thoughts with me about some of that. The first day of January is another day dawning, the sun rising as the sun always rises, the earth moving in its rhythms. With or without our calendars, to name a certain day as the day of new beginning, separating the old from the new, so it is, everything is the same.
bound into its history as we ourselves are bound. Yet also, we stand at a threshold, the new year, something truly new, still unformed, leaving a stunning power in our hands. What shall we do with this great gift of time, this year? Let us begin by remembering that whatever justice, whatever peace and wholeness might bloom in our world this year, we are the hearts and minds, the hands and feet, the embodiment of all the best visions of our people. The new year can be new ground for the seeds of our dreams. Let us take this step forward together onto new ground, planting our dreams well, faithfully, and in joy. We have one more hymn, another slight reading, and then a little bit of food. You can remain seated or stand in body or spirit, however you're moved for this song. Choices make things more complicated, don't they? Find a stillness, hold a stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence, let the silence carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony. Seek the essence, hold the essence, let the essence carry me. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony. According to the late Irish poet John O'Donoghue, reverence includes an element of play and curiosity. Reverence includes play and curiosity. May we hold this new year with that kind of reverence. May we hear the call. May we be wrapped with silence, engulfed in silence, so that we keep our balance. May we also sing and laugh and look with ever new eyes. After the words, a quiet. After the songs, a silence. After the crowd, only the memory recalls the gathering. Peace and justice have need of you after the words, the music, and the gathering. God of our hearts and many understandings, beyond naming, beyond knowing, beyond limit, grant you the depth of dedication to justice. Grant you the will to be an apostle of peace. May we go in peace. May we find joy. May we find kindness this year, and may we have abundant kindness to share. So be it. Amen. Blessed be.